Quite a collection. Thank you, Steve. Well, where do the Democrats go from here? Valley Congressman Tim Ryan lost his bid to overthrow House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi this week, and some political pundits and fellow congressmen say that Ryan made the right move to get the conversation started on shifting the focus of the National Democratic Party. But we want to talk to our folks here to weigh in on the future. So Ohio Senate Minority Leader Joe Schiavone joins us, along with Senator Capri Cafaro. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Absolutely.
Now, I know the press is talking about how the Dems are in disarray right now. So I want to get into this and get your realistic opinion on how things are going. But Capri, you already wrote an op-ed piece that appeared in the Washington Examiner this past week. You clearly agree with Congressman Tim Ryan that the Democrats, they voted for Trump because they felt abandoned. Do you think that the message needs to shift? What needs to happen for the party to get a new message out there?
Well, I mean, I think that both the message and frankly the messenger needs to change. I mean, they did not make that choice, in the House minority race, but we see this because we are here in Ohio. We understand because we are listening to folks. And I said this in my op-ed. People do not want to be talked at or talked down to. They want to be talked with. And there is definitely a sentiment that national Democrats have lost their way, do not understand the needs of the people that Joe and I represent, the people that watch this show. The bread and butter issues, the kitchen table issues. If we don't get on that message, we're going to be in trouble.
You think the party's almost extinct? It's something that you mentioned. What do you think, Joe?
Well, I've been traveling the state talking to a lot of people about it. I think that the major issue that I see is when we're talking about jobs, a lot of people maybe made $12 an hour 10 years ago, and now they're making 15 in that same job, working twice as hard, and they're worried about the security of that particular business. And so that's the thing that people keep driving. That's the issue that we have to concentrate on. Yeah, there's a lot of other issues with schools and with infrastructure and with safe neighborhoods and with the opioid epidemic, and we have to concentrate on all of those as well. But that jobs issue comes up every single time, first thing from the first person that asks a question.
And Tim Ryan mentioned the geographically focused message. It sounds like the coastal sides of the country are getting attention for one thing, but almost like the middle America Rust Belt got ignored. What do you need to do other than talking? Is there any action you can take? I mean, a lot of people say, well, words are words. We want to see some proof in the pudding. What needs to happen in the next couple of years for the Democrats, not only nationally, but statewide, to gain back some ground?
Well, in my opinion, we have to push agendas that will help those people improve quality of life. So we have to make sure that we push infrastructure bills throughout the state that we both have sponsored in order to put thousands of people to work fixing our roads, bridges, underground infrastructure. It's something that we've been pushing for a long time. The message just doesn't get out. We also need to make sure that we're investing in our companies so that they stay here, that they grow, giving them what they need in order to flourish without giving everything away like Trump's trying to do and talk about carriers.
Trump stole our message. Trump stole the message of the Democratic Party, talking about trade, talking about jobs, again, talking about these kitchen table issues. I mean, from a strategic perspective, broader than a policy perspective, I really think that what we need to do as a party nationally is have a 50-state strategy where we are focused on campaigns for redistricting reform at both the state and federal level. It's the only way we're going to be competitive again.
Now, realistically, you have a lot of work to do in the coming years because it doesn't happen overnight, so it's going to be one day at a time. Joe, you said this week that you're making significant moves to do more than that. You want to be a leader in our state and making maybe a run for governor in 2018. Is it your goal to run?
That's right. I mean, I've been going throughout the state, and I'm going to continue for the next 2 weeks. I was in Geauga County last night and Cambridge the night before, and I have 4 or 5 stops this week. And so it's going out there to talk to people, to let them know what I would be able to do if I was trusted in order to run for this position. And so it's all of those things we talked about, but we have the agenda that we've been working on in the Senate. We've been in the minority, so sometimes it's like banging your head against the wall a lot, but those things are out there. Yeah. And people understand that they need somebody that really cares about them, wants to work for them. And so we're gonna give it a shot and do the best that we can.
Now, I know there's conversations behind the scenes. Mike DeWine has expressed interest. I talked to him on election night live on 21 News about the fact he wants to run. Although there's other people that might be interested. Mary Taylor, what conversations are happening for you and in your party maybe to position you for that role?
Hey, you got to put in the work on the front end, and that's what I'm doing. And you have to reach out to people, not just the party leaders, but the everyday person in these areas. They want to meet you. They have to trust you. They have to know you. And if if they don't, then you're not going to get any traction. So I'm trying to do it that way rather than just trying to reach out to the power brokers to see what they think about it.
Yeah, as we look ahead in Ohio politics, I know you're not going to be in your seat much longer, but what has to happen for the message across Ohio? We had a governor who didn't show up to the RNC. We have a situation where we have an incoming president that's going on a victory tour where he's not even going to support him. So there is some fragmentation within the Republican Party in Ohio. What do you do to capitalize on that, maybe?
Well, frankly, I mean, again, I hate politics. I love policy. And, you know, while there are some realities to what we have to deal with in our job that are political, dealing with, as Joe said, with the power brokers, understanding that there are divisions amongst both Democrats and Republicans, at the end of the day, I would implore both Governor Kasich and President-elect Trump to find a way to work together, even though I know they have significant differences, because it is our goal and it is our job to do whatever we need to do to improve the lives of the people of this state and our country and put partisan politics aside.
And the people of the Valley have spoken, and they have a very big voice in that. So.
Well, and Capri and I have always gone down there to work first and fight second. Yeah, you're going to have to fight some things out, and you're going to have to dig your heels in, and you're going to have to make the arguments that you need to make when you have to fight. But your focus has to be to go down there and get the job done for people, to make people's lives better. And if you're not doing that, then you're not doing it for the right reason.
That's right.
All right, well, this conversation is not over yet. We have much more coming up on Meet the Press, but first, we're going to get a check of that chilly forecast.